Hello and welcome to the market update for Monday, July 7th, 2025. I'm Ricky Walters and I am your mortgage wise guy.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.
So last week it was all about jobs, all about jobs. And we saw on Wednesday of last week the ADP private payrolls report came out on, like I said, Wednesday the 2nd. And we saw the expectations was 95,000 jobs to be created, but actually 33,000 jobs were lost when that report came out. The market then was expecting the next day when we got the government report from the BLS. BLS stands for Bureau of Labor Statistics, and unfortunately, it's often the BS. That's my belief about it, where you really can't believe it, and I'll tell you why here in a second. This was released on Thursday, and the estimate was that we were going to see 110,000 jobs gained, but we actually saw 147,000. Well, actually is not accurate either, because if you compare to the birth death model for small businesses, you see in the ADP report there was a 47,000 job loss number compared to 24,000 gained because this is an algorithm and they don't call anybody and ask anybody if they've gained or lost a job. Let's look inside of this. So, where did the jobs come from in the establishment? Two parts to the survey. The first part, as I said, they don't call anybody. But the government is where we got all the job gains, especially state and local education, 63,000 of the majority of those jobs. However, you have to see that there was a seasonal adjustment of 605,000 jobs. So that changed a loss of 542,000 in state and local education. Seasonal adjustment changed that to a net positive of 63,000, showing a lot of weakness, if you ask me, in the job market. But the headline was very rosy that we'd gained all these jobs. Then we look at the household survey. That's the second part of the survey where they actually do call people and where we get the unemployment rate. It went down from 4.2 to 4.1. And the reason it went down was because there was an exodus from losses in the participation rate. In other words, people looking for a job left the workforce, gave up looking for a job, 43,000 of them. And if they'd have stayed, our unemployment rate would have actually gone up to 4.3 instead of down, which was what was expected by the market. So that's caused bonds to sell off, and interest rates went up a little bit at the end of last week. A little more weakness showing here in this part of the job report. Again, the establishment survey, we see hours worked went down from 34.3 to 34.2. That 1/10 doesn't sound like a lot, but it equates to almost 500,000 jobs that would have been lost if, um, well, because of that one tenth of an hour less worked across the nation by all workers. So again, more weakness are showing here. What does this tell us? This tells us that eventually the real job numbers are going to show up, and when they do, the Fed's going to take notice and start lowering rates, although they probably push that out till September now. Hang in there. We're going to see lower rates in the future. I'm Ricky
He's the
Walters.
mortgage wise guy, wise guy.